A discussion of Einstein's quantum explanation of the photoelectric effect. We will split this statement into three parts. Number 1. What is the photoelectric effect? Number 2. What was Einstein's explanation? Number 3. What are the pros and cons of this explanation? So, what actually is the photoelectric effect? It commonly refers to the process where visible light falls on a metal surface, causing electrons to be ejected from the metal surface. It was first observed in 1887 by Heinrich Hertz, when he saw how electron sparks jumped between metals when placed under visible light, with greater sparks under ultraviolet light. Many scientists studied it between Hertz and Einstein, each providing their own hypothesis on the properties of light. But the problem arose when putting the evidence together. It didn't make sense. Two problems were: light of only certain frequencies would actually eject electrons. There seemed to be a cutoff frequency, and there was no pattern in the electrons being ejected. It was completely random. The problem? Classical physics. Classical physics uses theories such as Newton's mechanics and Maxwell's theories on electromagnetism and applies them universally. And since the days of Newton versus Hooke, light, which can be thought of having zero mass, was believed to be only a wave and not a particle. This approach works fine for most things, but only for things travelling much slower than this and much bigger than that. So, what was Einstein's explanation? Einstein concluded that light was not a wave nor a particle, but rather had properties of both. He proposed that light energy did not travel constantly like a wave. Rather, he believed that light energy travelled in packets called quanta. Each packet had their own amount of energy, and the more intense the light source, the more photons were emitted, and the higher frequency, the more energized the photons were. This was first proposed by his colleague, Max Planck. Ejection depends on whether the photon's energy exceeds the work function, the minimal energy required to eject an electron from the material. When a lower energy photon collides with an electron, it causes it to move to a higher energy band before falling back down. When a higher energy photon collides, the electron breaks its bonds, ejects, and uses the remaining energy as kinetic energy to shoot away. The ejected electron is called a photoelectron, and the chances of a photon colliding with an electron is very low due to the spacing of electrons, and more than one photon to collide is even smaller. Therefore, collisions are then chance-based and unpredictable. Einstein also derived equations to find the energy of a photon and the maximum kinetic energy of a photoelectron, where E equals the energy, F equals the frequency of the light, H equals Planck's constant, this number, and W equals the work function, the minimal energy required to eject an electron from the metal or material. So, what are the pros and cons to this explanation?